Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, some people might not be aware of this, but I am a huge Star Trek fan. I'm not trying to blow my own bosun's mate whistle here, but the amount of useless Star Trek knowledge I have could fill a positronic brain. I love Star Trek The Next Generation, and I've seen every episode and every movie, but I'm not a huge comic guy. There's a lot of comic stuff that I'm just not that familiar with. So today on Prime Reads, we're going to be reading some Star Trek comics. In 2017, IDW published a 6-issue miniseries called Mirror Broken, written by David Tipton and Scott Tipton, with art by J.K. Woodward. It follows the Star Trek The Next Generation characters that inhabit the popular Mirror universe, and tells the story of how Mirror Jean-Luc Picard and his crew take command of the ISS Enterprise. This is going to be a casual look at the teaser, Issue 0 and Issue 1, and I will be commenting on what I see. And I'd love to see your comments down below. There will be spoilers, of course, for these issues and any read in the future. However, I'm trying to be somewhat economical with my usage of the comic panels. I've only taken what I consider is necessary to understand the story, and I've cropped what I have used. So if this video intrigues you or makes you want to read it yourself, I recommend you find it. There's content and art in the actual books that you will not find here in this video. So with all that said, let's jump into episode 0 of Mirror Broken. Alright, so the issue starts out in main engineering of ISS Stargazer. Our point of view character is Lieutenant Reginald Barclay from Star Trek The Next Generation, who first appeared in Season 3. He's a great character played by Dwight Schultz. Anyway, Mirror Barclay hates his life, he hates his job, he hates everybody he works with. You can probably see why. It doesn't look like a very pleasant place in this mirror universe. Everyone looks kind of angry, and the two guys up top there look like they're about ready to get into a knife fight. Yeah, I can't say I blame the guy. And the narration starts out, "Another day in engineering in what's left of this rust bucket. This ship should have been retired years ago, but the collapse of the Terran Empire and the destruction of most of our fleet made that impossible. Nowadays, the ISS Stargazer spends its time on solar system duty, helping patrol and enforce what's left of our once great empire." And we can see Barclay here doing his job, doing something menial. Looks like replacing isolinear chips. And I have to say, it's a pretty good likeness. "All I need is the opportunity and a plan. Lieutenant Barclay to the bridge. This kind of work is grinding me down. Day by day, I've been thinking lately that it's time to make a move. Do something dramatic." And I can definitely see why he'd want to do something to get out of engineering. This place really does look like a dump. And of course, to the left of Barclay, we can see one of the notorious barrels from Next Generation, one of which kind of put a hurting on old Worf. "Ah, Mr. Barclay, let's talk, Captain." And now we see the ISS Stargazer bridge, which looks very much like it did in the episode The Battle, in which the USS Stargazer appeared. The bridge, of course, was a reuse of the Enterprise bridge from the movies. And here over to the left, beside Counselor Troy, you can actually see what the graphics would have looked like on this style ship. It would not have been the LCARs that you see in Next Generation, and you certainly would not see the original movie-style graphics with the LCARs on the same ship. "So, Mr. Barclay, how are things in engineering?" "Good. Well, they could be better, sir. There are a lot of problems. I think you know about the plasma leaks and..." Yes, I do. But I'm sure they can get sorted out. I have another assignment for you, presuming you're willing to step out of engineering for a moment." "Assignment, sir?" And here we see the captain's ready room on board the ISS Stargazer. And Mirror Picard, like his prime counterpart, has a pet. You can probably see that giant snake in the glass cylinder. That's pretty cool. A lot of books, though. I wonder if Mirror Shakespeare is very much different from Prime Shakespeare. "Assist Lieutenant Yah in overseeing the escort of the Vulcan slave ships. With our first officer still unaccounted for, she may require an extra hand." Yes, sir." "Counselor, what do you think? Is Lieutenant Barclay up to the task?" "Yes, Captain. I think he'll do nicely." And then Barclay thinks, get out of my head. Because who wouldn't want someone poking around in their brain? "Lieutenant Yah, I've been asked to assist you in monitoring the Vulcan transfer." Oof! That's one way to make an entrance, I think. "Too slow, Barclay. Ha! I have no idea what good you're going to do, but listen up." But she gets cut off. Stargazer, Stargazer, the Vulcans are rising up in convoy ships 5 and 6. They're trying to take control. Oh, hell. And this guy looks like, yeah, it's a serious problem. Vulcans rising up? I don't know. I don't think I want to deal with any kind of Vulcan riot. Barclay, help me get a tactical scan on those convoy ships. Yes, hold on. Maybe you're good for something after all, Lieutenant. And kaboom! A ship gets totally destroyed. I guess that's one way of solving your problems. Kill the rioters and there's no more riot. And over to the right in the inset panel, you can see the ships. Those are actually robot ships. I believe they were designed for Star Trek the Animated Series, and have since been brought into main canon in the remastered Star Trek the Original Series Blu-rays. So much for your rebellion. There were over 1,000 Vulcan slaves on each of those ships. That's right, and the rest of them will learn a lesson from this. Someone's got to maintain order around here. You're dismissed, Lieutenant. Thanks. I wonder if Imperial Command and the Department of Slavery will be pleased with the loss of all those Vulcans. Not to mention the captain. Well, that's Yar's problem, not mine. Yeah, these mirror people, they don't fuck around. Look how happy Yar is that she killed all those people. Still, that was quick thinking on Yar's part. Taking out those ships so swiftly, I could take a lesson from her. And then all of a sudden this guy comes out of nowhere screaming, "Die!" And Barkley says, "Whoa!" And the guy says, "With you out of the way, I won't be low man on the totem pole anymore, finally." Is charging down the corridor the best place for an assassination attempt? Probably not. This guy, if he's taking out Barkley, he probably has something to do with engineering, so maybe see about sabotaging one of the consoles to explode, take him out that way, or maybe follow him into his quarters and attack him there that way. Maybe not try your assassination in public, I don't know. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Ah! Lieutenant Barkley, are you injured? Commander, no, I'm fine. And Data apparently walks up and shocks the guy. Although, if you look at him, it looks like there's a fucking supernova going off in the background. I don't know, a simple electrocution probably shouldn't shoot out rays of energy quite that much, but it gets the point across, so I understand why they did it. Nice to see the guys in the background, though, just standing there watching. Lieutenant Commander Data, science officer and Picard's pet android. I don't like being this close to him. He smells of ozone. You are fortunate I arrived when I did. We've got a good view of Data's Borg arm. It's very detailed. It looks very Borgish. They don't really go into why he has Borg technology in the comics, at least not from what I saw. It looks good. It's got a nice presentation, and it's something that you could really do with an android, so I appreciate it. It's cool. Data may be the biggest question mark of all on this godforsaken ship. Some people say he hates humanity. Others say he's obsessed with it, which is why he's always trying to improve himself somehow with whatever technology he can find, some of which is banned even by the Empire, to achieve a perfection that humanity lacks. Which story is true? Who knows? No one has had the courage to inquire, and he offers no counsel. And yet he seems to be loyal to Picard, or at least as loyal as an unfeeling monster could be. I heard it was because Picard liberated him from a life of slavery in the Soong mines. But how much can even Picard trust him? All I know is he makes me nervous. And here we are in Data's quarters or laboratory or something like that. He seems to be into making different kinds of arms. I don't know why he needs several different arms. It seems like maybe he could build what he needs into one arm and then it could kind of like convert and rotate and turn into what he needs it to be, but no, I guess he needs multiple arms for what he needs to do. Good details in this shot, though. We can see a part of a batleth up at the top right-hand corner, and we can see what looks like a blade of a Vulcan ceremonial weapon that we saw in a mod time when Spock fought Kirk. Unbelievable. Picard's giving it a bloody medal just for blowing up a couple of ships with the Vulcans. Hell, who wouldn't want to do that? Keep your voice down, fool. In recognition of quick and brutal action in service of the Empire. Wed with pride, Lieutenant Yah. Captain. Here we are in one of the shuttle bays for the ISS Stargazer, and we can see some Type 6 shuttlecraft in the background, which is cool. I always kind of like that design. Why they are doing the award ceremony in the shuttle bay is kind of strange. I mean, I'm sure there should be some kind of big wreck area, There was on the Enterprise refit in the motion picture. They should have something like that they could do it in, but I guess maybe they just like the looks of the shuttle bay. I don't know. Come on, split up already. Now! So first of all, I like how Picard is just kind of casually waving goodbye to Yar as she struts down the corridor. And secondly, why is Barclay just attempting the same kind of assassination that just failed when he was the target? He's running down a corridor exactly like what the other guy did to him. And then we've got here the massive as Yar gets stuck with a knife. Look at that. There's blood flying everywhere. He must be using the Speed Force to run though. Look at that background. Probably should be able to see something out of the corridor behind them. It's a big dramatic scene, so I get what they're doing. I like the red. The red is a nice symbol of the violence that just happened. I see you took my advice. I did, sir. Good. That woman's ambition needed to be curbed. Killing off all those slaves merely in a pointless show of muscle was a ludicrous waste of resources. After it happened, I arranged this ruse of an awards ceremony, and that's when I contacted you. Her security staff was formidable, and this seemed the best way to draw her out. As for you, I appear to be in the market for a new chief of security, and I think you'd be happy to leave engineering. I presume you will accept my proposition? This conversation is very weird to me. I don't know if there was a part missing from my digital copy, seems unlikely, or if this is a relic from a previous draft. When Picard and Barclay first meet, it was before the slaves were killed. And Picard certainly didn't give Barclay any advice for dealing with Yar. So, very strange. Oh, I accept, Captain. I accept. For now. With this ominous panel, we end issue 0. And I think for the most part, it worked to get me on board with the story and setting. The biggest issue I have is with the previous panel that refers to something we never saw or were referred to. The art is great though. I really like how it shows this universe as muted and dark, and I think it really helps set the mood. Now, let's move on to issue 1. At the beginning of issue 1, Picard is brooding about the state of the Empire and how leaders with visions are needed to take action. But Picard knows patience is required in order to make those visions a reality, and he is a patient man. While riding in the turbo lift, he discusses with Counselor Troy the crew morale situation. It's no secret how poorly the war has gone. The Klingons and Cardassians have corralled the Empire back to the limits of our own solar system. And with our mission strictly to patrol our own borders instead of taking the war to them, well, spirits are low. The only thing providing any hope at all are the rumors still swirling around about some amazing new warship being developed by the Imperial Starfleet. Ridiculous. If that were true, my sources would have informed me. And here we see the inside of the turbolift car. It looks kind of like the interior of the Enterprise D turbolift cars in the Next Generation. Although you can see here, Picard is holding on to a powered handle in the turbolift that we really don't see outside of Star Trek the original series. They make a point of referencing that actually in the Deep Space Nine episode Trials and Tribulations. This isn't just rampant paranoia and desperation, Captain. I'm sensing genuine faith from some of the crew. Some of these people know something. So then you actually have hope for this phantom warship, and I should have the same? Perhaps, Jean-Luc. After all, every living thing needs a little hope just to survive. Captain on the bridge. As you were. And that is the Mirror Universe salute from the episode Mirror that they established there. Back again on the Stargazer Bridge, we still see more of that, what it looks like Elcars mixed with the original graphics. Elcars shouldn't have these weird circles and things like that. They are rounded, but we don't really see circular controls. Situation, Commander Data. Long-range scanners picking up a lone ship just on the outskirts of the system, Captain. Cardassian? It appears to be a Gallower-class cruiser. Alone? They usually travel in threes. Are you sure this isn't a trap, Commander? I don't want to take the bait and be surrounded by Cardassian warships. Long-range scans do not show any other Cardassian ships nearby. If we could bring her back intact, it would be quite a prize. Indeed, Captain. The phaser arrays alone would be worth the trouble, not to mention the torpedo banks if this ship is still fully armed. Very well, Mr. Cuissard. Set an intercept course, warp 6. Let's get to that Cardi ship before some of its friends arrive. Alright, we're getting ready for a battle. Awesome. Nothing cooler than starship battles. I kind of like that detailing with a smash screen. I'm not sure why they haven't replaced it yet, but it looks nice anyway. Dropping out of warp, Captain. Cardassian ship within firing range. Target the cruiser. Remember, we want that vessel as intact as possible. I don't want any damned mistakes this time. Phasers locked. We get a view of the Stargazer from the outside. It's got the yellow markings that they started for the Imperial ships in Enterprise, which is very cool because I like that design. Didn't see it in the TOS Enterprise, which is kind of weird. So apparently they skipped over that and then went back to the yellow markings. I don't know. Cool to see it anyway. It's also got cannons mounted to the primary hull that look very much like the cannons on the future version of the Enterprise and All Good Things. And the ship's getting hit with weapons. Rumble! Return fire, damn it! Yes, sir. Their shields have collapsed. They're wide open. Torpedoes away! Warp, warp! A direct hit, sir. Yeah, space battle panel. This is awesome. We got the Stargazer firing on the Galor class, and the Galor class is taking some pretty serious damage. Look at that. They're getting torn open. You got bodies coming out. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good art. My God. Mind your station, Ensign. If you'd rather not be here, maybe some time at the agony booth might toughen you up. Explosive decompression achieved. Reading no life signs remaining aboard the Cardassian vessel. Excellent. Man, that's some pretty low tolerance for people who are squeamish about explosive decompressions and bodies floating out into space. And look at Data. You know, for being an emotionless android, he looks kind of pleased with himself. He's looking pretty satisfied with the explosive decompression going on, the massive death that just happened on the other ship. And Picard, he's proud. Mr. Data, retrieve, what do you think, two? Two of the Cardassians before they suffocate. It doesn't matter which. Mr. Barclay, report to the transporter room and escort the prisoners to the brig. Aye, sir. Mr. Data, activate tractor beam. We have what we came for. Wow, that view screen image, that's pretty cool. The body's just floating out there and then the guy's mid-transport. I like that. Although Picard, in the first section of the panel, his head looks wrong. It's almost like he looks like an action figure or something like that, with maybe the head swiveled too far to the side. I don't know, it looks weird. Fine work, Data. Set course for Mars. Captain, I'm sure that ship got out a distress call. Do you think they'll try and pursue us? I doubt it. The Cardassians have lost too many ships to Earth's defense grid over the years. A bigger battle with us probably won't be worth it to them. Now, if these were Klingons, we'd probably be in for a fight. Nevertheless, this would be a good time for us to be moving along. Ready, Commander? Course laid in for the shipyards of Utopia Planitia, Captain. Ready at your command. Excellent, Commander Data. Make it so. Make it so. That is, of course, Captain Picard's catchphrase. And then interesting on this panel where it shows Data in front of the view screen, that is actually a recreation from the wireframe images during the Kobayashi Maru test in Star Trek II. In this panel, Barclay has invited Data to lunch for some reason. We don't know why, even though in the previous issue he said he was nervous around Data. And I'm really not sure why Data would be in line to get to the food replicator anyway. Really, Commander? If you want to learn more about humans, you need to observe them up close. Even the captains think you spend too much time in your quarters. The captain said that? Why, yes, he did. Now, how does he end? Wow, we got some crazy fight breaking out. This one dude just straight up stabbed the other dude in the hand. The mirror universe is definitely fucking crazy. What the hell are you two going on about? He's a gullible idiot. That damn fool believes all those stupid rumors about some brand new ship that's going to save the Empire. It's true. A friend of my cousin is working on it. Oh, that rumor's been around for years. It's just a tall tale, son. I'm sorry, Commander. This wasn't quite what I had in mind. Actually, this was illuminating. I will further consider the counsel of you and the captain on this matter of observing and listening to humans more closely. It may prove beneficial. I like that Data's first thought is to throw this guy up into the sky. Alright, now in this panel, Picard, Data, and Security have beamed down to the surface of Utopia Planitia. Got a transporter sound effect. We need to go to the 47th floor, Captain. Lead the way. And a couple things On here, we've got, of course, the 47th floor, another 47 reference. If you watch Star Trek The Next Generation, and by extension, the other Star Trek spin offs, you'll notice the number 47 cropping up quite a bit. It's an in joke in the writers. We've also got on the left there, we got some binars from the episode 1000101010, whatever that is. They look like evil binars, though, which is cool because they've got weird, beady little eyes. I like that. I'm Captain of the Stargazer. We just brought in a captured Cardassian vessel. I see. Scanning now. We've also brought in these prisoners from the Cardass. Thanks for bringing in half a ship, Picard. The entire vessel is blown out, and one of the wings is missing. Maybe more than 2 prisoners next time? Go to hell. Don't worry, we'll apply this to your credits for commendation. Yeah, I mean, the guy brings up a good point. Why would you only take 2 prisoners? You know, maybe half a dozen at least. Doesn't seem like you might be able to get all that much information out of 2 guys. What if you brought 2 cooks or 2 waste extraction technicians? What good are you going to get from those guys? That's not quite the reception I was expecting. I'm not surprised. That's how things are throughout the Imperial command and bureaucracy these days. There's no appreciation for action. It's all little petty, desperate fiefdoms. No one looks at the bigger picture. The Empire's resources are strained to the breaking point. Without some different kinds of thinking, I don't know how much longer Earth could hold out. We're going to have to start making our own new opportunities. Commander, what are you doing? So what Data does is he punches a hole in the wall and grabs some cabling, hooks it up to his head, and steals a bunch of information. Later, aboard the Stargazer, all this time, Data, I thought the Galaxy-class project was a lie. Either an intentional falsehood to try and inspire hope, or merely a rumor, gossip, passed around by an increasingly desperate people. Your discovery speaks otherwise. In fact, the Galaxy-class design outperforms the most powerful Cardassian and Klingon warships as well. But the most remarkable thing is, the first one is nearly ready for launch. It's ready? What? It is called Enterprise. Where is it? Unfortunately, that information was not included in the records I was able to access. Damn! We need to find out more. Do you have a list of personnel working on this Enterprise? And that is a cool shot of the galaxy with the Terran Empire markings. I really like that. I wonder if they got that from like a CGI image or something like that and traced it and put it in. It looks very posed. There, LaForge. He used to be on the Stargazer. Do you think he will cooperate with you? There's only one way to find out. Later. And that's how we found out about the Enterprise, Lieutenant. Internal Affairs didn't detect Data's intrusion? I covered all my tracks when I invaded the system. As far as emergency services knows, one of the binars tripped and fell into the console, causing that hole. This is amazing, Data. I didn't think you had this sort of thing in you. But why are you two telling me all this? Okay, first of all, I don't really think this is a good representation of Geordi LaForge. I don't think it really looks like LeVar Burton. The individual visor for each eye is kind of throwing me off as well. I understand it's a good choice to do it to kind of differentiate between the 2 versions, but it looks weird. Also, binars punching a hole in the console, I don't buy that. I don't think anyone would buy that. Binars are tiny. They're not going to tear up anything. Mr. Data's been trying some new things lately, it's true. And I was wondering, Lieutenant, if maybe you might be willing to expand your horizons too. Perhaps we might work together. Let's agree on some terms, Captain. All right, you help me commandeer the Enterprise, LaForge, and I'll get you that position in those quarters. Not good enough. I want to be chief engineer, and I want the largest share of any profits after yours, Captain. I'm risking a lot for this, and I expect you to make this worth my while. Maybe my life. Agreed. Excellent. I look forward to working with you, Captain. I like how Data's just sitting there by himself, kind of like a child with his hands on his legs. Now, where's this damned ship? Follow me. It's right there. Nonsense. We would have seen it from orbit, and there's no way that they'd build that ship in such an obvious place as Utopia Planitia. LaForge, if you're stringing me along... Okay, so that actually does kind of look like LeVar Burton in the top there. I'll give them points for that. It's also interesting that Mirror Picard would think it was nonsense for the Enterprise to be built at Utopia Planitia, where in the Prime universe, that's exactly where it was built. The cloaking net isn't perfect though. There's a hole in the bottom, but only a few of us know exactly where to look. Mars's atmosphere is pretty thin. You'll get a good view. Enterprise. And that is where we ended. That is where issue 1 ends, with that beautiful view of the Enterprise. I, of course, have to point out a couple of things here as well. In the mirror universe, it was established in Deep Space Nine that the Klingons do not have cloaking devices, so that's going to take some points off the issue for that. On the other hand, the binoculars that Picard is using look exactly like the binoculars that Dr. McCoy used in Star Trek V, although some people don't like Star Trek V, so maybe that's points off as well. Well, that is all I have for you today. I hope you all enjoyed this one. Despite there being a few issues with the comics, I still want to recommend that you check them out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you want me to continue? Should I do some of them on a live stream? Let me know these things in the comments. Until next time, this is Prime, signing out.